Well, it's great to be able to be back with you again today. Thank you so much for joining me. It's a pleasure for me to come and be able to talk with you for just a couple minutes. We're excited about what God is doing amongst us as a church family. Thank you for praying for others that you know at BCF and your family outside of that. Our prayer people are busy, our prayer teams are busy helping and just investing their time and energy to pray for you, to pray for church family, but also to pray for those outside, some even far away. Yesterday I mentioned about investing in the pastors in the nation of India. Thank you so much for your generosity. If you were able to do that, I did leave the number here so in case you missed it yesterday. But we're going to send some funds out either today or tomorrow to be able to add value to them so that they're cared for in an appropriate way. But I wanted to just highlight a couple portions of the Bible today. In the Old Testament, God spoke to Moses and he said, "What is that in your hand?" And you understand, he had an old stick that he used as a shepherd to be able to encourage the sheep to move in the right direction, to fight off enemies of the sheep as well. But God used that simple stick in his hand to be a scepter of God's authority, to devour the power of Pharaoh's sorcerers, to be able to hold out over the Red Sea and open up the waters for the people to come across. So God took something very common and used it for spiritual, supernatural provision and supernatural just investment into God's will. And then in the New Testament, there was Peter and John heading to church one day on the way to the temple, and they saw a man laying at the side that they'd probably seen many, many times because he was often carried there, a lame man. And he wanted money, but they understood that they had something different. And they said, "Silver and gold I don't have, but what I do have, I give to you." And they grabbed him by the hand, listen to this, and they pulled him up to his feet. And immediately he received the healing power of Jesus Christ in his body, even though he'd been lame since birth. And God turned around his life. He became a rejoicer. He became someone who was a follower of Jesus Christ. And he impacted literally hundreds of lives, even the lives of the religious leaders. So my point is this, my friends. God has invested his life in you. The same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead dwells inside of you. So I want to encourage you today, see how you can take what's inside of you, such as you have, and invest it in the lives of others. He's given you hope. So why don't you call somebody, send them a text, send an email, do a WhatsApp call, and be able to encourage somebody else. Give them hope that we're all going to make it through, that Jesus is still on the throne, he's praying for us, and that you are standing together with them, your friends or your relatives, or maybe just ones that you work with, and encourage them with hope that is inside of you. You have something to give. And then let your faith rise up, that you may even be able to share a good word about Jesus, loving them as an individual, caring for their family, and wanting to be actively involved in their lives. Tell your story. How did you find Jesus? How did he wake you up to his new life inside of you? Remember, old things passed away and all things became new. I believe that new life in Jesus Christ, empowered by the Holy Spirit, is what you have in your hand, in your mind, in your heart, that you're able to share with those around you so that they can receive God's blessing in their lives, even today in this time frame in history that God has brought us to. So I want to encourage you with that, and know this. We believe in you. Jill and I and our whole team, we believe in you. Christ in you is the hope of glory. So share his love with somebody today. And remember, you have something in your hand to give to others.